Before we throw the floor open for the open question hour session, I would like to inform our Muslim brothers and sisters in France particularly that we are with you in solidarity. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you steadfastness, to give you patience, and we are totally against what's happening in France for the last 1 month. And we know that on the 2nd of October, the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, said that Islam is in crisis all over the world. And if you go a few days before, there was a trial that's taking place for the killing that took place in 2015 for the Charlie Hebdo staff that were killed by some of the terrorists. And when the trial was taking place in the month of September, Charlie Hebdo again, they published the caricature of the Prophet, belittling him, demeaning him, and that's nothing but blasphemy. Because of which, on the 25th of September, there was a Muslim who used a cleaver or a chopper, and he attacked 2 of the staff members of Charlie Hebdo. After which, 1 week later, on the 2nd of October, the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, he gave a speech on how to control radicalism, and he went on to say in that speech openly that Islam is in crisis all over the world. And he went on to say that it is wrong to portray your religious feeling in public. France believes in freedom of speech. France believes in human rights. We have no problem with someone following certain religion, but to outwardly portray your religiosity in public is not accepted in France. Wearing hijab in public is not accepted. And he went on belittling Islam and speaking against the Prophet, for which the Muslims condemned his speech in different parts of the world. It is uncalled for that head of state, if there's a problem, rather than solving the problem, he is adding fuel to the fire. If someone is blaspheming or speaking against the Prophet of any religion, demeaning him, making caricatures, instead of saying that this should not be done, he says this is allowed in the freedom of speech. Blasphemy is allowed. And he went on to add fuel to the fire. So much so that there was a teacher who had a session with the students in the class of tolerance and circulated the caricature of the Prophet, Na'uz Billah, and had a debate, because of which that became viral, what the teacher did. And in retaliation to this, there was a Chechen immigrant on the 16th of October who took a hatchet and he beheaded that teacher, Samuel Paty, because of which that became world news everywhere. As far as the act of that Muslim beheading the teacher in France, this is not what Islam says. In Islam, there are some rules and regulations, and this should be followed in a country which follows the Islamic Sharia, not in a country which is not following the Islamic Sharia. A person cannot get up in the morning and take the law in his hand or go and behead someone, and this act is not condoned by me at all. And there were many Muslims throughout the world who have condemned this act. But the point to be noted that if one Muslim out of the millions of Muslims makes a mistake, that does not mean that you demean the full community. Millions of Muslims make a mistake, that does not mean that you demean the full community.